Did I tell you people about what happened when my kids were still small? I remember one time I registered my first child in the school in a pre-nursery. So I was the one going for the school run, okay? And then on this particular day, I went for school run. I stopped by at a shop where they sell snacks for children. So I got down from the car, I bought some snacks for my child and put it inside his bag. And immediately I opened the door to get inside the car so that I can drive straight to the school gate. The next thing I saw was two men. One just opened my door. The other person opened the other door. My child was in the car seat. The other man, actually there were three. The other man opened the other door where my child was staying. And the next thing I saw was the one that opened the door next to me just gave me a hot slap. He kept on slapping me until my eyes were just like blackout. I couldn't see anything anymore. And they started releasing gunshots in the air and people were scampering. I saw a man putting on a suit. He dived straight into the gutter with the child, in a school premises. And the next thing, he just jumped in on top of me and pushed me to the other side. Then the other guy that was coming in through the other side pushed me at the back. They drove off my car. And I was still inside the car with my son. And what happened? While we were driving, the one at the back holding me kept on beating me. This man kept on, when I mean beating like he was beating his fellow man. I didn't do anything. As a matter of fact, when they slapped me, the first thing I did was just to pick up my car key, give it to them because I thought they were after my car. I gave them my car key, but that wasn't enough. And then while we were moving, that one kept on slapping, punching, pushed me down on the floor, that's on the car floor, and was kicking me on my stomach. Someone that just gave birth some months ago. And I delivered through cesarean section. And he was kicking me on my stomach. I had to hold my stomach, turn my back, and then he was beating me and hitting me at the back. So what I heard next was the one in front that carried my son just called on him and asked him to lift me up, that these people are on the road. So he just lifted me up and adjusted my clothes and my hair and asked me to maintain, that otherwise he's going to shoot me. And then he pointed a gun at my stomach, used my blouse to cover the gun. And when I looked at the road, I saw policemen. I was so happy deep inside me. But surprisingly, all the beatings I received, I didn't cry. Not even a tear. I didn't shed a tear. So when we approached the policeman, so he just put his hands across my shoulder and pretended like we were friends, just laughing and touching my cheeks, this and that. And the policeman stopped us and asked them to wind down, and they obeyed. And I was signaling the policemen with my eyes, blinking my eyes, looking at them. The next thing he did was he asked them to move. Oh my goodness. The moment he just told them to move, I said to myself, you are gone. That this is it. You are gone. And the guy sped off immediately. That was when I started crying. The hot tears started pouring down my eyes. And I didn't know when I started saying this prayer. Jesus, I love you. All I have is thine. Yours I am and yours I want to be. Do with me whatever you will. I kept on mumbling this prayer. And the one holding me just looked at me and said, oh, it's like you are praying. I kept quiet. He said, oh, you think if you call this man that is going to save you? I nodded my head. He said, oh, really? Out of fear, I didn't do anything again. I didn't say anything. I didn't nod my head. I just kept quiet. The Jesus that I called came down. That was, that was one of the greatest miracles that I have ever experienced in my life. All of a sudden, the man that made mockery of me and my prayer was the first person to turn my face and said, Madam, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm so sorry for the beatings. You are so harmless. Why did I beat you this way? He kept on adjusting my head, wiped away my tears, and told me that as long as he is alive, that nobody amongst them will touch me. And I didn't know where they were taking me to, because while we were moving along the way, the one that was holding my son was making a call. And when he's making that call, he will keep on giving them feedback. He checked the particulars in the car and told them that the surname is the same, but a different name. And after giving them that information, he would turn and start asking me a lot of questions. Where are you from? Who is your father? Where did you live before you got married? Who is your husband? Where are you living now? How many children do you have? So at a point, there was an argument inside the car between the two of them. between the one that was apologizing to me and the one that said that he was going to blow off my head. Both of them started arguing, and the one driving was telling them to shut their mouth, that they are actually confusing him, that he doesn't know what he's doing. But their voices kept on rising in the car, and before you know it, the one that was driving the car just dashed straight into the bush. He just stopped somewhere, got down from his car, brought out his gun. The three of them got down from the car, brought out their guns, and they all pointed their guns at each other. I just held my son, and I kept on praying, Jesus, I love you. The next thing was, one of them just grabbed my son, wanted to fling my son away. I held my son by the leg, and I started begging him. And I told him, you can do whatever you want to me. You can kill me. You can, anything you want to do to me, but make sure that my son gets home. That was what I told him, the one that was beating me, you know. On hearing that thing that I said, he just came to me and said, Madam, nothing will happen to you. I am here. Nobody will hurt you. And all of them started arguing, started shouting at each other. They cocked their guns, because the one that said that he's going to blow off my head cocked a gun and pointed the gun at my head. And the other one cocked a gun, pointed the gun at his own head. The one that was driving cocked a gun, pointed at the one that was, supporting me. The one that was holding me at the back just went and collected my son's school bag where they, threw it away. He collected it, was about on his snacks and everything, and then picked up his car seat, because they threw his car seat away, brought everything back inside the car, and told me that he's going to help me so that I will get away from that place. And I told him that I don't know where I am. He brought out some money from his pocket and gave it to me. I started running with my child, and I managed to come out on the road. I saw a young guy. The guy just looked at me because I looked like a mad woman. The guy asked me, who are you? Where are you coming from? I told him, please, I don't know how to find my way. The guy told me to cross the road, and he's going to help me to get a public transport. So when a bus was coming, the guy told me to enter that bus. I just thanked him, carried my son, entered into the bus. When I got home, my husband was so worried. He was carrying the one that I just gave birth to, pacing up and down. When I saw him making calls, calling people. So when he saw me, he was shocked. He asked me what happened. I couldn't even say what happened. The moment I got inside the house, I had to shut the door. I told him my experience. He noticed how I was behaving. He shook me for a very long time. But that was when I actually knew where I was. And that was when I started crying profusely. Finally, my car was later found that very day. And how was my car found? When they were moving along the road, the tires busted. They managed to take the car to a nearby vulcanizer to repair the tires. While they were there, the alarm started blowing. Then there was a police station closer to them. So they noticed that the policemen were actually coming out. According to the vulcanizer that told the policemen this story, they paid the vulcanizer and told him to continue pumping the tires, that they are coming. That was how they left my car and ran away. And so the policemen came, requesting for the owner of the car, to stop the alarm, that the alarm is disturbing them, this and that. The vulcanizer told them that he can no longer see the owners, that they actually left and didn't come back. So the policemen had to stop the alarm and towed the car to their station, and then searched the car and saw my husband's ID card inside the car. That was how they contacted him, and my car was retrieved. Everybody was saying that there were armed robbers, they were after the car, this and that. No, but I wasn't the only person using that car at that time. But how I got to know that it is not just a robbery case, but a kidnap case, was the people selling the snacks at my son's school. There was a lady who was selling recharge cards there. The lady narrated her own part of the story, that the three men has been coming to that school for 3 good days. And immediately she said that she saw my car driving in, and one of them signaled the rest and told them that here she comes. So they all got up immediately and pretended like they were part of school run and everything. Before you know it, that was how they stopped me and picked me up and my son. So I am a child of testimony. I'm a product of grace, honestly, and I will continue to thank God. And I'm going to tell us more next time. Love you. Bye.